Okay, well, my bread rests and continues to cook internally. I'm going to get on with making the soup. This is the celery root, a celeriac. It is not, in fact, the root of celery. It's related. It's in the family of celery, but it's not the root of a celery. And I just want to show you how I break it down. The aroma is so celery-like. It's the best. And I feel like I'm making a soup of my favorite things. Leeks are my favorite things, and celery root is my favorite thing. So I'm just going to show you how I break this down. Take the scragglies off. I didn't bother washing it because I'm going to wash it all in a colander afterwards. So we want to be getting the skin off, which is quite rough. We have these little bits here. Get rid of them. And if you can't get rid of all of them, no worries. That if there's dirt involved, it will be washed out when I rinse the cubes. So I'm just gonna do 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch cubes. And later I'll show you how to mechanize getting your beautiful leeks down. I'll be breaking the Granny Smith apple and the potato. And what we really want to do is get similar sized pieces. Okay, so for instance, 1, 2, 3, and then cut those into 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry, get the dirt out of the way. And you get the picture. I'm not going to belabor the point and use data. I'm just going to show you the end result. We got these beautiful aromatic chunks. But I will show you my go-to method for getting leeks cut quickly and how I get any remnants of sand out of them quickly. Okay, so you get the point. I may as well just finish this up. Okay, now I'm doing half. I don't know, is that a 1/2 inch? Probably. Okay. So they're all good. Gotta cut this. I want them to be similar in size. Okay, that's 1 celery root. I have 3 total, so I have 2 more to go before starting my soup. See you in a minute, and I'll show you with all the bounteous the bountiful ingredients that you have in winter. Okay, so this is still all soup prep. I've got maybe 2 pounds of celery root cut into similar pieces, washed in the colander. I just feel like I dropped one, I don't know. Then here in the water, I have 1 russet potato cut in the same way, plus 1 Granny Smith Granny Smith apple, peeled obviously. And I would do 2 potatoes normally, but I only have 1. Sorry, not potatoes. The potato is for creaminess and in the end result. The apple is for flavor and a little bit of acidity because these are quite strong tasting apples. I have 1 apple and I would maybe add another, but I don't have to worry about that because I can add, hold on, some apple cider vinegar in the end if I find the result cloying. I have also a rough chopped medium-sized onion to roast with, saute with the leeks. And I'm here really mainly to show you how I do leeks in a way that's not as labor intensive. Going all the way up to the green bit, using my slicer option. I think I dropped the, oh, here it is. Yeah, it's stuck. Anyway, I don't need it right away, but I'm gonna slice the whole onion at 1/4 inch thick. The leek, sorry, not the onion. This is how I do my turkey dressing. That's done. 2 leeks. Take out the slicing mechanism. And then I put it in my, everyone wants to worry about the dirt, the sand and grime that can get into leeks when they're growing, because they grow in mud. And oh, that smells really good. It's one of my favorite flavors. I use it in my turkey stuffing all the time. And then you just add some more water into the salad spinner. And that's how that goes. I'm ready. I've prepped and I'm ready. Let's see here. So we're gonna start building our soup base. Couple glugs of olive oil and my washed and dried leeks will go in. That's quite a lot. I'm happy with that because it's a celeriac and yeast. Sorry. I've been making bread for days. A celeriac and leek soup. Got the heat on medium high. I got some chunky onions in here. Just 1 medium onion. Leeks are basically onions, much milder than the bulbous kind. So we have this going. Well, starting. In the meantime, I'm going to make a bouquet garni, and that's French for a gathered bouquet, just like when you make flowers. So I don't know if you can see this. Let's shift this. So I have some fresh, I have a lot of fresh bay leaves, which are also known as laurel leaves. They come from laurel trees. I have parsley and a nice amount of thyme. So what we're gonna do here is wrap I guess garni means, I would assume garni in français means garnish, but this is going to flavor the soup and you won't have to fish out all the pieces once it's going. So we roll it up like this, and then you take some kitchen twine and you tie it on each end like this. Meanwhile, it's sizzling, so get that mixture going. I gotta tie up my bouquet garni. Garni, G-A-R-N-I, garni. Tie it. At one end, cut it. Because the scissors are far away in my little scenario here. Then I'm going to tie the other end. Bay leaves for earthiness, depth of flavor. Parsley for some brightness. And the thyme, of course, which is really hearty. Thyme is really the best friend of meats, especially like chicken. And I do have the scissors, and they're not so far away. Anyway, you don't even need that, because if you use kitchen twine, it's intentionally made for cooking. Otherwise, you're gonna possibly get some toxins, and you don't want just any old string. So I feel like I gotta turn that down a bit. I'm gonna throw in about a tablespoon and a half of butter for flavor and richness, and a pinch of salt. More than a pinch, like a quite good pinch. Pinches of salt don't just flavor, they also draw the water out of onions and vegetables by osmosis. You might remember that from biology class in grade 9, 9th grade high school. Sorry, Judith, to remind you of that, but that's what salt is doing. And I'm going to let this cook with the lid on, half on, when I find it. Here it is. And make sure that it doesn't burn. I have it down just above medium on my stove. Every stove's different. And we want to wilt that down. The butter's not even melted, so I'm not worrying. So we want to wilt that with this lid on halfway, letting steam out. Well, it's not half, but we're letting the steam out, and that's gonna kind of do its thing for 5 minutes. I'll come back and stir again. I might actually, that's a lot of leeks. I'm gonna add a little oil. Gorgeous extra virgin olive oil. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so the saute of the leeks went very quickly. There's still some juicy, buttery juice, and it's not brown. I don't want brown because I want a fresh looking green soup. I turned the heat really down, and now we're going to add the 2 pounds of diced celery root and get that all mixed together, and we'll do the same thing. We'll let it meld together with the top I want to cut that piece in half. It was meant to be in half. I'm just going to use my fingers and do it. Okay, so we've got some butter, oil, juices of leek, butter, and onions. And we're going to put this back to medium high and then leave this off for another 5 minutes. After that, I'll drain the apple and potato, I'll add the 2 quarts of, which for me is 1.8 liters of chicken stock, and the apples and potato, the bouquet garni, and let it simmer for an hour. Ooh, that smells good. Yum. Can't wait. Okay, so I added another big, generous pinch of salt to get my celery root nice and tender. Not just to add flavor, but to remove some of the moisture. I'm going to add in the potato and the apple, which I've had here in water so that it doesn't discolor. And I don't want the water, obviously. Slotted spoon would be fine, but I'm using what I can find at hand. I'm gonna give this a big stir. And then I'm going to add, hold on, big stir, get it all mixed. And then I'm going to add, I'm going to turn this down. Then I'm going to add 2 liters of chicken stock. Well, actually, it's 900 milliliters per box. I generally have my own stock, but right now I only have turkey stock in a large quantity, and I want to use my homemade turkey stock for other things. So we're gonna get this up here, and then we're gonna bring this to a boil. Add the bouquet garni, which has all those beautiful flavors, herbaceous flavors. We're gonna bring this to a boil to make sure nothing's deadly. That's why we bring all stews and soups and food to a boil before simmering. And once it comes to that boil, turn this back up. I'll be simmering it, like I say, at quite a low temperature for 1 hour. And then we're going to puree this baby and get some really lovely flavor to go with the bread. See you then. So this is the final stage of making this soup. Before, of course, serving it. So what we need to do here is remove the bouquet garni and squeeze out the loveliness. This has been simmering for an hour. Some of the time I had the lid on, and some of the, oh, I dropped it in. Some of the time I had the lid cracked a bit little. I didn't want it to boil down to nothing. Just want to cook all the root vegetables through. And I don't have a blender, stand-up blender, because I don't really need one. That's sort of, you know, can be useful, but it's kind of 70s. So we're gonna use my food processor and mill this down. You could also use a hand mill. I see that this juice is spreading all over the place. You can only go so far on a so high with liquids on a food processor. So this is going to take probably 3 or 4 goes. And remember what we have in there. We have celery root, potatoes, 1 potato, 1 apple, and lots of leeks. So I have the chopper in there. I'd like to cover this. This isn't the towel I want to use. Let's see if it goes without. No, it's not leaking out. There's a possibility that it will come out of this crack here if there's too much in. So I'm pressing down. The goal here is to get a creamy consistency without using cream. Oh, this smell of the celery. Oh my gosh. So I'll be doing that for the next 10 minutes, putting this into, what I'm trying to say is I'll pour this hot blended mixture into a nice big bowl, do the next and the next and the next, and then I'm going to put it back in the pot and season it with, I'll taste it, and if it needs salt, I'll add salt, but it definitely needs pepper, and I'm going to use white pepper so you don't have specks in it, and it'll go beautifully with my toasted sour bread dough.